Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube page, Real Women Conversations. In this video, I will be talking about the 6 key components of co-parenting. But before I move on, I want you to do me a favor. Please subscribe to my channel, Real Women Conversation. I also started a new Instagram account called Real Women Conversations. So if you're friends with me on Facebook or if you're friends with me on Instagram, you should be able to find it because it's linked to my other page. If not, look for me on Instagram called Real Women Conversation. And my name is still the same on it, Crystal Maria. So you should be able to find me easy. Okay? So subscribe, like, comment. Really important, okay? So I chose to do this video, the 6 key components of co-parenting. Actually, I came up with this because I've been co-parenting for the past 8 years, and I just really felt that it was important to have this discussion because so many of us actually co-parent, and it's different now because it's important that there's equality and both people are involved, the mom and the dad. And they are there to help the child be raised in the best way that they can and support, physically, emotionally, mentally. All those are really, really important in order for the child to reach their developmental milestones, okay? So I really want to get into this video and share with you some of the components that I came up with, all right? So 6 key components are communication, acknowledgement, respect, understanding, forgiveness, and teamwork. Now, these I found to be really, really crucial over the past several years because it actually is a part of what makes the co-parenting experience work. Okay, so first thing we're going to discuss is communication. Now, communication is really, really important in order to really get our point across, how we feel, what we need, what we don't need, what we want, what we don't want. If you don't say anything, then the person doesn't know. We can't just talk about what we need financially. That's important, but there are other needs for the child, mental illnesses and issues that may go on with the child, whether it be bullying or they feel sad or depressed or, we don't know. But it's important that we communicate what we see going on with that child in order for the other parent to help, because we don't always have all the answers. So it's important that we talk about what we see, what's going on, and we let them know. It's important that we just remain an open line of communication with that other parent, regardless to where they live. Some of them may live in the same city. Some of them may live outside of the city, outside of the state. Some out the country. And also, that other parent may be incarcerated. But regardless to where their physical location is, it's important that you communicate with them as much as you can. Let them know what's going on so they can help you, so they can back you, because that is their job, is to help you. Okay, it's just not is all on you, it's also on the other parent. All right, also listen to what that other parent has to say. Try their method of raising that child as well. There's so many different ways to raise a child. We all have our own inputs and thoughts and feelings based off our own personal experiences, but it's important to hear that other parent out, and see where they're coming from. Regardless if you feel that they didn't have a good childhood or not, there always are good things that come out of bad situations that you can learn from, and that other parent may just have something really important to share that can be life-changing for your child. Okay, also push for the child to communicate with that parent. It's important that you communicate, but it's important that they have a relationship as well. That is just as important, okay, because that child needs that. All right, whether it's a FaceTime, a phone call, a text, email, writing a letter, however they communicate, it's important to communicate. That's what's important. Okay, so please allow that child to communicate. Don't stop that child from talking to their parent, regardless towards how you may feel. How they feel is just as important, and we don't want to take that relationship away from that child with their parent, because they need them as much as they need us. They need them just as much. It has to be fair. Now, the second key component is acknowledgement. Okay? It's important that you tell your child great things that is going on with their parent, what they've done, what they've accomplished, what they're good at. Let them know who their parent is and all their accomplishments. There was a reason why you chose them, or if you feel you didn't choose them and happened by accident. However, they're here and they're meant to be here. So we want to acknowledge the good that came out of the situation. Okay? Don't be afraid to say that they're a good parent. If they're a good parent, praise them as such. Let them know. Tell them, say, hey, I think you're doing a great job. I really appreciate, what you're doing for our child. Don't assume that because, oh, you're a parent, you're supposed to do that. There's no such thing as supposed to. In this life, we all have our choices, our options as to whether what we want to be to someone, if we want to be a parent or not. There's some parents that disown their child, and they don't care and they will never see them again because that's their choice. So regardless to what a person's title is, they can own it or they can disown it. So if that parent is doing a great job in owning their fatherhood, acknowledge them. Let them know what's going on. Okay? Say, you're doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much for helping me with him, her, them, whatever. And I'm really glad that you're here, and I just want to thank you. Don't just give people praise on their birthdays or the holidays and Father's Day, Mother's Day. Every day should be a holiday. While people are alive, give them the praise that they deserve. Okay? Don't just talk about the bad. Always talk about the good and tell that parent directly. Everybody loves a good praise. I know I love a good praise. Okay? So put pictures up of the other parents in that child's room, or give them a photo album of the child. When they meet with each other, say, hey, send me those pictures that you took. I want to make a nice collage, a nice photo album. So that way they can have those memories and cherish those memories as a child, and they'll be able to hold on to those pictures for the rest of their lives. And it's important that, they have that so they know that that parent is just as important and they feel loved by that parent. Okay? And it helps for the child to feel connected. When we see a picture every day, you feel connected to the person, even though you may not see them physically. But when you look at that picture, you feel close, you feel happy, you feel loved. And that child needs to be loved all the time, not just from us, but also from their other parent. Okay? And also, it's important that you acknowledge their other family on their other side, whether it's siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents. Allow that child to have a relationship with them, and build that. It's important that they get to know them, that they know who their family is. It shouldn't be a secret. Build on that. It is important that the other parent introduces them to their other family, but if you can take the initiative to introduce them, if you've known them before or whatever, allow that child to spend time with them. If the father say, hey, I want to take them to see the grandparents, or can my grandmother or whomever come pick them up, allow that. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to trust that other parent. It is important, to have that trust. It's just so important. Okay? The third component is respect. Respect is a tricky thing because, we feel that with respect, in order to gain it, you have to earn it. But as human beings, we should all just respect each other regardless. But, it can be hard when you're coming out of a tumultuous relationship with that person. So the respect may not be there so much, and it has to be kind of worked through again from the beginning. Okay? But regardless to how you may feel, don't keep that child away from the other parent because you're mad or you're upset because they've done something. Try to keep it plain on a plain level. Maintain the same level of respect regardless to how you feel in order to provide adequate parenting. Deal with that separately. Don't intertwine the two. Keep your feelings out of it. We got to be able to have some emotional control and regulation in order to allow our child to have a healthy relationship with their parent. We don't want to burden them with our own feelings because of how we may feel towards that parent. Okay? Don't talk bad about the other parent to the child or around the child, where they can hear. ever. You never want to poison their mind against their parent because of what they did to you. Unless they've done something to harm the child, that's different. But if there was no harm done to the child, keep them out of it. Children need to stay in a child's place, period. Deal with that on your own. Talk to family, friends, whomever, but don't bring the child into that. Always keep them separate. Don't keep them involved in adult affairs because they have no business in it. Okay. Also, keep the relationship platonic. If you aren't in a relationship with this person or aiming to be in one, keep those lines clear so there's no confusion or misled emotions. Because what happens is you might start getting comfortable, and then other parent may not be following through with their promises, because they're comfortable. Now we're messing around, we're seeing each other, we're saying sweet things, but it's not really been clarify that this is what we're doing. And now if the person backs away, now you're mad, so you got to keep it either one or the other. You're together or you're not, keep it platonic. We're not together. We're not doing this. No jonesing on the phone, because I need you to do your part. And I don't want you to get comfortable and thinking, hey, I can miss a week. I ain't got to pay her this week. Or, I can't come get him this week. You should understand we cool. No. Irregardless to how many times we may talk or how comfortable you may feel, you have to do your end of the bargain, period. Okay? I don't care what's going on. I need you to do what you said you're going to do. Follow through on your word. So that's why it's important that, you just make sure those boundaries, those lines are clear as day. And you say, look, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. Make it work. Make it happen. We're not together. Period. That's it. Don't confuse it. Don't bring confusion into the mix. Okay? Now, if you choose to enter into a new relationship with someone else, let that other parent know. They need to know who's going to be around their child. It shouldn't be a surprise when the child comes over like, oh, I met such and such today and I seen them kissing. Like, no, that should never be. You need to let that other parent know ahead of time. Say, look, I want you to know before you hear from anybody else, this is respect, okay, that I am seeing someone, and you should know because they're going to be around our child. That's respect. And I would like for you to meet them because you should know who they are. And they don't have to be friends. They don't got to hang out or go see a movie together, but they should know who you're seeing because whoever's around your child consistently, the other parent should be aware. You need to let them know. Okay. And it's important that they kind of meet they meet that other individual before the child does. You don't just want to throw anybody into the mix, into your child's life. You always want to be cautious, okay? And, and let this other parent know, this person is coming in because the other child has a parent already. So it's important that you make those boundaries very clear, okay? Also, just continue to just be communicate effectively with the other parent with this new relationship so there's no confusion. Okay, so also I'm sorry one last thing, don't allow that other person to talk bad about your child's father. Okay, don't allow them to do that because then what happens is that's how problems arise because now you're like, oh, he said this about him and I believe it is true. Now you start believing what they're saying and it's not true because now they're saying things based off some of the actions, just what that parent may have done, regardless if they missed a payment or they don't come around as much. That's not their place to talk badly about your child's parent because that's still their parent and they love them and you should never allow anybody to talk badly about them ever. Okay, you do that, they shouldn't do it. It just has to be boundaries. Again, boundaries is just so important. Okay, don't let that happen. You gotta keep control of the situation because you don't need nobody fighting nobody. Okay, now the fourth component is understanding. So sometimes things may happen. I can't pick them up. I can't send you this money, or I can't do this, or something happened at work or in your personal life. We want to not say that we're going to accept every excuse, but we have to just kind of flow with things in order to reduce the amount of stress that we can take on. Okay. Now, Try to be flexible when sudden changes occur. Don't take it personal. Oh, you meant to do this. Oh, you did this on purpose. You wanted for this to happen. No, don't do that. Try to be understanding as much as you can, and always communicate with the child what's going on if there is a sudden change, and push for the other parent to let that child know, like, if you're not going to be able to make it this weekend, you need to let them know, and or her know, and say why. Okay, but don't fish for an argument if they're telling the truth. Just let it be, and just like I said, let it flow, let it roll, and I'm sure in the future it will get better. Okay, now the fifth key component of effective co-parenting is forgiveness. Oh my gosh, this is so important, because sometimes forgiveness holds us back from having a healthy relationship with an individual and building towards a future, to have something concrete and kind and real, whether it's a relationship or a friendship, a marriage. We have to forgive. Don't be vindictive. If you are not in a good mental space, it's good that you keep some distance, because sometimes our actions always come back to bite us. Forgive no matter what. For the sake of the child, you have to forgive this parent, and for you to have a peace of mind. I'm not saying to minimize their actions, but don't dwell on it for too long. Okay, you cannot dwell on everything this person has done to you, to hurt you, to upset you, or try to break you. You gotta forgive them so you can have peace in your mind and with your child. And don't use the child like as a bait to hurt that other parent because you're mad. Keep the child out of it. Allow them to see that, to see their child still, spend time, and to be in their lives, regardless of what may have transpired between you and them. If the child is not being harmed or was not harmed, don't allow their actions fuel your emotions to hurt that parent now through using the child. That's very childish, and it's immature, and it's beneath us as women, and we're better, we're stronger, and we're wiser than that. We have to gain, emotional control. I know we can be emotional people, but we also are smart women, okay? And we have to really think with our mind and not always with our feelings and our heart, because they change. Our feelings change, but what we know and what we believe will always remain the same. Okay? Now, don't allow the past to control your ability to raise a child with this person. Do your best to move on and find solidarity, because it's really, really important. Now, sometimes there's so much history with this person. They've done so many things to us. And sometimes those actions can influence the way we may interact with them and how we may choose to have them interact with our child. So it's important that you don't allow what happened in the past to dictate what happens in the present. Keep that out of it. Deal with it on your own, with the counselor, however, or take the time to talk to the other parent and tell them how you made me feel, because this is bothering me, and I think we should discuss this in order for us to really move forward and be strong as a co-parenting team together. Okay? Speaking of co-parenting team, that leads me into my last component, which is teamwork. So I found teamwork to be one of the most important things in co-parenting, because one needs the other. An old saying that I heard growing up from my grandmother is, one hand washes the other. The right hand can't wash it without the left hand. So you need that parent to be involved with that child in their life just as much as you're involved in many other areas that you may not be good at that they're good at. So where that person is weak, you're strong. And where you're strong, they may be weak, and you strengthen each other. You want to aim to be on the same page. Work it out. Do your best to make it work, okay? You have to. This child you're going to be raising until you're 18, maybe later than that. Times have changed. So it's really important that you have the best team player as possible on your team with this other person. Like, you guys, it's just you. It may be more than you if that person gets married or whatever, but teamwork. Okay, it's really important in order for the child to grow and meet all their developmental milestones, and to really mature into the best person you can make them into. And two is always better than one. Okay, now don't be afraid of the challenges you will face together. There'll be times that you are going to disagree, but work through those disagreements. Listen, forgive, move on, and don't stay mad too long. You can't dwell too long. sometimes the challenges that we may face with another individual is only meant to strengthen us, and it can break you if you allow it, but don't allow it to. Do your best to figure it out. That's just really, really important. Okay, so I just want you all to really take something out of this. And if you are co-parenting, find a way to make it work. And if it's working, great. Continue to make it work. Continue to make it better. And continue to strive for more, because it will change as the child gets older and mature. It may be a little bit more challenging because a child is going to develop and have more needs, more wants, and they're going to be exposed to different things now, as they get older. So it's really important that you stay on the same page and you communicate effectively, talk about what's going on. Now, I'm sorry, but this video is over. I really enjoyed talking about this, and I'm learning as I'm talking as well. So I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video, to listen to me, and please subscribe to my video. I really would like for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Real Women Conversations. I'm on Instagram, Real Women Conversations. I will be putting on my next video. I'm not sure what yet, but look forward. Subscribe. If you do, then you'll know what's coming up next, because I'll be sending out the email for it. Okay? I just want to thank you all for watching me, listening, taking the time out of your busy day to really listen to my video, and give me an opportunity to show you what I'm about in this page. So ladies, gentlemen, everybody, thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Alrighty. Bye.